should we talk about mother loving Demon Slayer, guys? My God, the Demon Slayer movie, absolutely tearing it up. Let me find the exact numbers for you here. Global box office top 10. Niza 2.2 billion. Which, by the way, a lot of people look at that and they're like, "Yeah, that's super sus, China." But I don't actually know what to think of that, frankly, because Hollywood was very happy to take China's money and those big numbers, just a few years ago. So I'm not sure. I just don't know what to make of this. And I think it's fair to say there has not been a huge cultural impact of this movie worldwide. I think that's fair. But, technically speaking, numbers are numbers, and it's a 2.2. Lilo and Stitch is next highest up at just over $1 billion. Then you have the Minecraft movie, about 40 million, 42 million, under $1 billion. Jurassic World Rebirth, 867, basically 868 million worldwide, which is, look, the thing about that Jurassic movie too, which I wonder what you guys think of this. That's crazy to me. I think it's so wild that movie made that much money. It looks really good, all things considered. But the irony is that is not that far off where I expected that movie to go. I just thought Superman and Fantastic Four would make way more. You know what I mean? Like, this top 10 box office here is kind of sobering. I mean, that is the point, right? That is kind of what we're getting at here. This segment is mostly about Infinity Castle and its continued domination in the box office. But, just look at this. In the global box office overall, the number 1 spot goes to a movie that's Chinese. The 5th spot goes to a Japanese animated movie that basically cost $30 million about to create and promote. So this is really, really shocking. But then there you have it. Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, $642 million worldwide. You have How to Train Your Dragon, just under that at 635. Then you have F1 at 627, basically 628. Then you have Superman, 615. The Final Reckoning, which is another absolutely fucking insane success story. And that's Warner Brothers as well, isn't it? Or no, that's Paramount, actually. Sorry, that's Paramount. And then you have Fantastic Four. So this is a pretty crazy look at all of this stuff. You know what else is insane about this? This movie has not even released in China yet. So if this movie releases in China, because I guess that's still up for grabs. I'm not sure. But if this thing gets into China, very likely, just considering some of the buzz there, that it could make upwards of $100 million. And if it does that, oh my God. This is a movie that is doing stuff that very few movies in the history of Hollywood have done. Which is look, at this point, we've talked a lot about this film. And we have talked a lot about its unprecedented success. We have talked about how this is somewhat of a signal or a sign of how anime has really taken over culture kind of quietly. And the reason it seems like it's quiet is because a lot of coastal people, a lot of, sense-making apparatuses basically in the Western media sphere are unable to accept anime. We just had our own community here, a member of the community. Literally, I had to almost ban him, and I still might ban him, actually, just because of how mad he was about anime and anime taking over in this way, right? And so there's this really crazy pushback to this in what I would call mainstream Western conversation. It's still going on. It's still people saying, this anime thing is not it. What is this? I reject it completely. It's cartoon. It's infantile. It's Japanese. It's whatever. For whatever reason, they really don't fuck with it or like it. Despite all of that, anime has clearly taken over culture. We've talked about these stats, man, of according to Netflix, which Netflix does a lot. I mean, Netflix has maybe more data on viewership habits of the world than maybe any other company on the planet. Frankly, just because of their base. They're like the Coca-Cola of streaming. They're basically in every market around the world, no matter the socioeconomic status of people in those countries. Netflix is everywhere. Netflix says that anime viewership has increased 500% over the last couple of years. That's like hard to even fathom. Like that's hard to even, like, what does that mean? 500%? So people are watching 5 times the amount of anime on average that they were just a few years ago. Holy shit. That's a huge cultural change. And look, I mean, we've had this conversation a lot over the past couple of weeks because it's such a big deal, but I think there's many reasons. I think the Japanese anime culture really takes care of its fans. Fan service is paramount. And this is an Eastern thing just in general. It kind of comes out of their culture of, you know, politeness and respect and a reverence for your role as an entertainer or whatever. You can look at movies like Perfect Blue and idol culture and just how that has been a part of this society for a long time, right? And so I think part of it's the way they treat fans. I think part of it is they didn't buy into some of the things and the trends that Western media has bought into in the last 5 to 10 years. And so, yeah, I really do think that anime, specifically anime, which is such an interesting, it's so interesting to me that this specific genre of animation, because anime is kind of like a medium of its own, right? And it has different genres within it, so you can't really call anime a genre. It's a medium. And it's really kind of a medium of a different medium through the lens of a very specific culture, which is Japan, but really, you know, throughout the East in general, because, of course, you have the Korean culture and how that's blowing up with K-pop and it blowing up around the world, but also manga, solo leveling, which the shorthand people, the normies or whatever, just call it anime. It's not really anime. It's actually Korean, but essentially the same thing. And it works on the same platforms and the same groups around the world embrace it, right? It is fascinating to see how popular and just how all around the world this medium has permeated. It is pretty fascinating. I guess the main question here, and as you look at the top 10 here, I think this is kind of like an interesting look at this. And also, too, look at this chart, dude. This chart is pretty crazy. You know, I wanted to show you this, too, guys. This is like the total box office. Like, how did it go for these different movies? So you have, like, How to Train Your Dragon, you have F1, and you have Superman, basically all operating very similarly, right? With Superman coming in very hot out the gate and then fizzling harder than the others. You have F1 on a very similar trajectory, and then it kind of overtakes Superman right at the end here. And How to Train Your Dragon, similar, takes it kind of earlier in the run. But Demon Slayer, I mean, look at this, dude. This is insane. Like, just kind of boom, 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 boom. And then as it opened in more and more marketplaces, it just blew the fuck up. This was the North American opener here. Huge boon. But, I mean, it makes a good bit of business down here, right? So if you're a distributor, if you're somebody on the business side of theatrical stuff, I guess you would call it Hollywood, although it's technically not. You know, theatrical is not exactly Hollywood. And I think you're starting to see that delineate a little bit more with, you know, some of the decisions that these distributors are making. But this is crazy town. So you're watching this new thing come in and severely disrupt the norms and operate at a level that is truly, I mean, it's capturing energy, attention, and it's bringing people to the movie theaters, which ultimately I think is just, that's all that really the theater people really care about. Hollywood, on the other hand, not so much, not so keen on this. And so just like we have been discussing for a while, the lingering question with the success of Demon Slayer Infinity Castle is this more of a story of how anime and Eastern media has been winning and is succeeding so much? Or is this the story of Western media and Hollywood losing supremacy and really, really fucking up over the past few years? And your mileage is just going to vary on how you feel about that. But I think this is just so clearly, like, I think there's various ways you could look at this, right? But one of the things, so we're about to talk about Batman, okay? We're about to talk about DC. And sort of like a lingering side to the whole conversation with DC and Batman is financials. Is Warner Brothers and the assets that it has, are they high-level crown jewel type of assets? Are they worth billions of dollars? That is the question. And Hollywood and, Paramount and Ellison and Warner Discovery or I guess back to Warner Brothers now and Zaslav, this is the dance and this is the game that they are all playing right now, where they want to present not just DC, but DC as told through Hollywood entertainment is this super valuable asset. And I just got to say, if you look at this chart, like literally, if you're trying to tell me that like Warner Brothers is worth like $50 billion or something like that, right? And you show me this chart, I'm going to second guess that. You know what I mean? I just think it is possibly the case that Hollywood itself is a much bigger part of the problem than it is willing to admit. And it's like this. If Hollywood just turned around and started doing anime, I think there'd be a huge pushback to that. I think there'd be this big blowback. And I actually think we're going to watch something like that happen in real time. Because I do think Hollywood's going to try to do a bunch of live action anime. I do. And I think Hollywood is just going to try to cash in. And I think the more that Hollywood tries to do this, we're really going to see the extent of its power, its reach, its ability to grab up these popular things and offer them up in its unique way through its unique platforms and its distribution. Does it still have a stranglehold on culture in the same way that it used to? I think a lot of questions are going to be answered in the next couple of years with regards to that. And dude, like I keep telling you guys, like this is fucking crazy. I want anime to be plugged in to Nielsen. I want to know what it looks like. I want to know what those Nielsen top 10 charts look like when Solo Leveling is dropping actual episodes. I want to see what it looks like when My Hero Academia actually comes back for a season. You know what I mean? Like I want to see what is actually going on. What are these companies watching? Or what are these consumers watching, actually? So, the latest here, guys, is that Demon Slayer is now in the top 5 of overall, Hollywood, all movies considered, global box office list. It has beaten every single comic book movie this year, and it has not even opened in China. And if it does open in China, it could make 100+ million more, which would put it close to Jurassic World Rebirth and Minecraft and close to the $1 billion club. And the other thing that's crazy about this, and I don't know 100% like the math on this kind of shit. Like, I don't 100% know the math on this, but like, if this movie seriously, because this is what's being reported, if this movie seriously costs $30 million to make and market, and it gets close to $1 billion, then this thing is making more than like Titanic. This thing is making more than fucking Avatar. This thing is making, like, do you guys understand what I'm talking about here? Do you understand the difference, what I'm saying here? The thing is, we're entering a stage where this movie is beginning to make money that, yeah, it's like Joker level, 100%. Yeah, like this is crazy town, like rarefied air, the kind of profitability that literally changes industries. Like gets people fired, gets people hired, closes offices. My God, bro. And it's the first fucking movie. It's the first movie. What's the second movie going to do? What's the third movie going to do, dude? That is absolute insanity. So that's the stuff. That's what's out there with regards to Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. What do you guys think? Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Let's chat about this for a couple of minutes here. This is crazy, right? Like, it almost feels like, and I guess I'm a little excited about it too, because I kind of called the shot early, right? Like, I was very excited about this movie, and I said it could be very successful. I thought maybe it would blow up past the comic book movies. You know, kind of tongue-in-cheek at first, and until that North America opening, like, I think everybody was like, what the fuck? But you know, so I kind of feel a little bit good, like I called it a bit early on that. And I also loved the movie. Oh my God, did I love the movie. I had an incredible time watching it. Anime is lame, says Prez. Yeah, so there's, oh, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I'm actually glad you brought that up. So this is whose team you're on. I want to play this clip here.
How do
I play that again?
That's why you can't. Come here. You can't like disrespect anime.
Yeah, my bad. Disrespect anime. Oh, okay. We play
My
again.
first ones was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Valid.
Can I say it?
Go on.
Fuck anime. You dumbass.
Whoa.
We came in number 2. To him first. Fuck anime. Why, bro?
Damn.
God, bro. That's that is disrespectful,
I was up
bro.
against it. Him came out the same week, this next weekend after whatever that was.
Oh, the Demon Slayer? Was it Demon Slayer?
Yeah, Demon Slayer. Can I say it?
Go on.
Fuck anime. You dumbass. We came in number 2. To him first. Fuck anime. Why, bro?
Nah, bro. That is disrespectful,
I was up against it.
So I want everybody to watch this because this is actually, like, it's funny and it's like a viral clip or whatever, but this is like actually the perfect representation of what is actually happening in the world. Because I think people like Marlon and people like Joshua and people like, I don't know, who was this guy that said fuck anime or whatever? This is like dead ass what it is. It's like there's a whole bunch of people like Marlon here that do not realize that literally the vast majority of the world has decided, no, actually anime's dope and there's a ton of stuff that's awesome, and you're actually uncultured swine. Like, watch this interaction. Like, this is fascinating, dude. And this dude is like, this is Marlon Wayne on a podcast, and he's getting fucking big broed because they're like, actually, brother, actually, Hollywood royalty, Marlon Wayne, we're gonna little bro you here because you cannot actually be doing that about anime. Like, I'm telling you, like,
my first ones was Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Valid.
Can I say it?
Go on.
Fuck anime. You dumbass. We came in number 2. To him first. Fuck anime. Why, bro?
Nah, bro. That is disrespectful,
I was up against it. Him came out the same week, this next weekend after whatever that was.
Oh, the Demon Slayer? Was it Demon Slayer?
Yeah, Demon Slayer.
That's a movie.
But that's why anime I want to wax your beard off your face.
Look at this, dude. Like, dude, I'm telling you. Like, this is a fucking moment, dude. This is a fucking moment. I'm just telling you. Like, I like culture, you know? And I mean, brother, I've been here. Anime had a moment in the 90s, actually. It had Flash, where it was kind of like, it was like almost popular. And then everybody was like, no, actually, fuck that. The only anime that's dope is Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. And if you like anything else, you're one of those nerds. It's too fucking much. Fuck you. And it like got weird. Like, it got weird. And then you had to act like you didn't like anime outside of that. You know what I mean? You had to like hide it like a Playboy when your fucking parents are coming in. You know what I mean? So I've been through it, man. I remember all of it. And to see the weebs winning like this is insane. Like, this, it really is. Like, it's really crazy. Shit. This is cool. Like, this is more than just like some fun viral clip. Like, this is actually what's happening for a lot of boomers that are not understanding. And it also kind of shows you how culture now, because of the internet, can move at such a pace and can kind of like move in such a way that, like, if some institutional influencers kind of like look past it or don't give it the time of day or whatever, like, it can feel like a 300-pound like absolute Batman hiding in the shadows. Like, where the fuck did this come from for a lot of people? I really think this is an interesting clip that shows where this shit is at. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Any more thoughts? Any other questions on this? Any anime series for Unity incoming? Well, so I'm close to giving some cool updates on Unity, by the way. I don't want to give anything here, but we're very close to some cool updates. What I would say is this. I've always loved, like, there's a lot of that I really respect about anime and manga. One of the things I love about them is the relationship between manga and anime, like of the same series. So like an example would be basically any anime, but let's just say One Piece, right? So the relationship between the anime and the manga is really interesting, where the manga is usually ahead of the anime, okay? And what that creates is a scenario where you will watch the anime because it's the more mass appeal, it's the more accessible thing, right? Because you don't have to read, you don't have to be like in a quiet environment or space where you can actually, like, you can throw it on and listen to it and stuff, right? It's just more accessible. But what often happens is the people that watch the anime get to a point and then they need to know where the story is, where it goes next. And so therefore they will then read the manga. And it's one of the things that Western media has completely dropped the ball on. And I know this would be like a lot more difficult with how like the West does their media, but this creates this beautiful synergy and this really great relationship where, like, essentially it just makes the reading of the thing, like the actual comic book, that's what manga means. It's like just Japanese for comic or whatever, right? But like it makes the comic so much more valuable and it drives readership. You know what I mean? So for me, this is a long-winded answer, right? But what I'm saying is, so Unity has a volume 1. It has 5 chapters in a volume 1. Ideally, what I would like to do is drop chapter 1, get started on an anime for it, and have the anime come out as chapter 2, or what would be the next 5 chapters, came out for the book. Because it's the same idea that manga has, where it's like, okay, so we have this anime, this animation, people watch it and they're like, yo, that is lit. I need to know where it goes, though. I need to know what happens next. Then it's like, oh, well, guess what? The second part of that story literally just dropped in comic book form. You can read it. And so then they read it and then boom, the next anime of that like drops. Do you see what I mean? That would be the ideal way to handle it. And yeah, I would love to do that for Unity. I think that would be great. Yeah. So, it's a long-winded answer, but actually I've thought a lot about that because I really do respect the way that they do that over there. Like, that's just very smart. And I think the West does some things really good. Of course, the East does things good. But I think one of the things, the problem with a lot of Western entertainment is the over-commercialization. And that over-commercialization can hurt the experience of just being a fan and getting into the thing. Like, legitimately. That's what it is. So